Hey everybody, quick little reloading bench update. So you guys might have seen this before in some of my other videos. I have a bunch of these shelves. They actually came from a company that makes commercial like trade show booths, and they had a whole bunch of these out in front of their building one day. So my wife and I grabbed a whole bunch of them, and it turns out they work really good for doing reloading stuff. So this is my Lee single stage press. This is what I use for doing my pistol reloading. And what I did was screwed it onto the board, drilled a hole through it, and then I have one of these ice cream containers, or actually it's not ice cream, they're for sorbet or sorbetto, whatever they are. I screwed the cap to it underneath the bottom and put a hole in it so all of my primers drop in here when I decap all my shells, and then this thing just screws back on so they're not going all over the floor. So that's one simple thing I did. Of course, now I'm having trouble getting it back on. There we go. All right, so this is my board for my pistol reloading. I have my my powder drop in here. I usually put my scale here, and then I have these trays that I put there. I'll put 50 rounds in there. I will size them all, put powder in all of them, and then put the bullet in the top of them. I'll do all 50 of them, and then I will press all the bullets down, and then I will crimp them all. So I kind of do it in batches of 50 just so I don't get messed up. That way I won't put a bullet in the top of it after I size it unless it has powder in it. So that's one thing I've been working on. And I'm working on my shotgun reloading press, and I realize my basement's a horrible mess right now, but this is my shotgun reloading station. Same type of board that I have on the bottom, same type of setup where I clamp it to my table. I'm actually going to put screws through the back of this so I can screw it to the table and just take one out and put the other one in. I have a 20 gauge press and 12 gauge press. Well, today I went out and picked up another 12 gauge press for 110 bucks. Just as it sits, it has the primer drop system on there, and it came with 2 bottles. And the reason I wanted this one was because I have 12 and 20 already, but I want to do 410s. So I'm either going to take this 12 gauge press or this 12 gauge press. I haven't figured out which one yet. They're both in really good shape, but one of those 2 presses I'm going to turn into a 410 press, so I can reload 410 with a press instead of having to manually do it. It's going to be a pretty expensive proposition just to buy the dies and everything to go on one of these for 410 is about 120 bucks, plus I spent 110 bucks on that. But if you try to buy a 410 Mec 600 Junior press, they're like $359 to $400 for the press. So I'll still be in it for less than half of that. But I have to take this board, unbolt those 2 presses off of there, and bolt 3 presses side by side on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I might actually grab another board because I have tons of those and I want to start out fresh. So let me grab that and we'll come back in a minute. And here is now my completed press bench for my shotgun shells. So again, this is going to be the 12 gauge one, and I chose to keep this one 12 gauge because it has the primer tray, and that one is a little bit smoother than my other 12 gauge. This is my 20 gauge press, and this is my original 12 gauge press, which is the one I'm going to turn into a 410. Hopefully the Mark V parts will work on that one, because that's an original old school like 1970s press. As far as I can tell, like, this is a Mark V. The plates are pretty much all the same. The spacing is all the same. Obviously, when you buy the kit, you have to get, you know, the bottom plate, the deprimer, the primer, the drop tube, everything comes with the kit. So I think it should work. And then I also bought this guy off of eBay, which is a 3D printed vise for doing roll crimps. And I was a little bit skeptical about this thing at first, wondering if it was really going to hold the shells in place. When you clamp that thing down, I mean, I cannot spin that shell one bit. And what I was doing was actually using a piece of like a grippy pot holder type thing, one of these guys. I would hold the shell in the palm of my hand with this and then do the roll crimp. So this is much better. This thing was like 25 bucks shipped. Came with the screws to screw it down onto the table, and it holds the shells really well. I've tried it with the 20 and a 410 as well, and it holds them really well. So that's my shotgun reloading bench, and sorry for the furnace in the background. This is going to be like one of my worst videos, but I just wanted to show you guys what my new shotgun reloading bench looks like. And I got primers and powder and everything ready to go, so at some point pretty soon I'm going to try doing some 12 gauge shells in the new press and see how it goes. So thanks for tuning in again for another short edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. Have a great day. God bless America. Support your 2A rights. Get out there and shoot. And make sure if someone tells you to give up some of your freedom for the greater good, that you always remind them that freedom is the greater good. Have a good day.